Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Victory Monday. You see the hat, but all the victories have not been claimed just yet. We do have one divisional matchup left here on Wild Card Weekend. The Rams versus the Vikings. Who is going to get it done tonight? Monday Night Football, prime time. This game is happening in Arizona. A lot of action for tonight. I've got a few best bets on the way for you guys in this matchup. Let's get into it. This is the Free Three. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day. I'm going to try to get to the bag together and get to that money. Like I mentioned, it is Monday. It is Victory Monday because you see the hat. I'm not matching. Don't come for my style. Don't come for my fashion right now because I know I'm rocking the blue with the black, but I had to rock my Eagles on this Monday. Why? Because we got it done, baby. We covered the spread. We won the game handily. Wasn't even close. Our defense was dominant. People are questioning our offense just to not understand we've been doing the same thing all year, which is Jalen Hurts makes the necessary throws, and otherwise we're just going to run the ball down your throats. We didn't come to talk about the Eagles today. Yesterday, I gave you guys a bankroll builder on the Twitter channel, on the YouTube channel. I told you, Bills money line, Eagles money line, and then take two huge favorites in Michigan and Chattanooga in college basketball. You get to plus 100, you double your money, you walk away, and you're good. It was plus 104, was plus 105, and it cashed in, and we move on to the next day. It's been a beautiful day like that. That's how we've been betting all weekend. And truthfully, I told myself that I was going to take it light this weekend. I wasn't going to go too crazy with player props and things of that nature because I figured the books were going to be sharp. And I was rightfully so. Let me pull up our Action Network to look at some of the bets that we took over the weekend here. And you know what? I didn't give out every single bet that I really liked. And that's truthfully, I'm glad I didn't because I would have gotten cooked on player props. If we look here, this performance here I think is like all time. Let me go to our last week performance here. You can see that we had a really good start to the week. But look, yesterday I took Saquon Barkley over 20.5 rush attempts. We got that pretty easily. I put it live, but I got it before the game. Bo Nix's interception. That was tough. He had several that really should have been picked off. We had Josh Allen, longest rush. His longest rush was 9 yards, but he went over his rush total, right? That was tough. Here was the little parlay that I cooked up. I didn't really promote that one too much. Our big bet of the day was this one right here. The Michigan, the Buffalo, the Chattanooga, and the Philadelphia. We added Purdue and another one that got it done as well, right? A few different games right there. But look, Derrick Henry, longest rush over 19.5, right? On Saturday, we had taken that one. But one of the ones that really hurt me was Saquon's longest rush. I didn't put that one out, but that last run, he could have gotten it, and we didn't get there. So it's been an up and down weekend with the moneyline parlays, including our hardwood haymaker on Saturday hit. That is the second hardwood haymaker that we've hit in back-to-back weekends, guys. I want to show you all real quickly. Let me see if I can find the graphic real quick. Pull this up on the screen. We dropped this one on Twitter for you guys, on X. Every single game on Saturday, $100 to win $1,000. We got right. Utah State was a sweat. It took a 4-point play at the buzzer to really win it for us, but we got it done. And you know what? Sometimes you're going to have to sweat it out, but all of these get done. That's what we've been doing with these moneyline parlays. We've been building on those, and it's been great. So let's keep the momentum going today, and let's talk about this Monday Night Football matchup between the Rams and the Vikings. I will come straight out and tell you my prediction here, what I think is going to happen in this game between these two teams. Sean McVay has the experience, obviously, Super Bowl champion. Kevin O'Connell, head coach for the Minnesota Vikings, he's only had one playoff game underneath his belt. He was a favorite in that game. That was 2 years ago against the New York Giants. I don't think you guys, or if you guys remember that game, it was in 2023. The Vikings were 3.5-point favorites, 4.5-point favorites in that matchup. They were at home in that matchup in the Dome, and they lost that game 31-24. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but I do believe experience is the name in the game when you get to the postseason. Sam Darnold has not thrown a single pass in the postseason. Seeing how he looked last week against the, who do they play? The Lions, and every pass sailed high. He did not look comfortable. He did not look good. It gives me a little bit concerned. Because when a coach gets into a position where he has to kind of go off his game script or he's a little bit uncomfortable, what typically tends to happen is that you fall back on what you like to do the most. And what Kevin O'Connell likes to do is throw the ball. And if he likes to throw the ball and Sam Darnold is not completing his passes at an efficient rate, he's not able to move the ball down the field. They're not able to finish drives like we've seen several times from the Vikings this year. They get down into field goal range. We saw that several times last week against the Lions. They can't convert into touchdowns, and now the field goal is a toss-up game because their kicker is unreliable. This game is played in Phoenix. Advantage Minnesota in that sense because obviously the Rams basically lose a home game. But I think the Rams here, with the experience that they have and what we saw yesterday in a team like the Philadelphia Eagles with the team that they have, what am I telling you? A quarterback who can get it done in Matthew Stafford, who can win games, but a running game that allows you to run the clock, use the clock, and allows you to use the playoffs to your advantage. Look at some of the games that we had yesterday, right? Let me pull up my screen real quickly so I can share my screen so we can talk about what we saw yesterday here. Let's look at some of the scores right here. So Saturday, we get an over in the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, and people think this is just going to be an over weekend. Well, zoom in a little bit. Buffalo and Denver, final score 31-37, 38 points, goes under. I think the line was 43.5 in that one. Eagles, Green Bay, total 32 points, goes under. Yesterday, the total for the Commanders and Bucks was 51, 52, finishes 43. It goes under. So what am I saying to you guys, right? When you are trying to win in the playoffs, you don't go for it on fourth down as much. Yes, the Commanders did, but how Minnesota was doing that in the regular season, like the Rams are doing that in the regular season, I don't see that happening here. I see the experience of this Rams team really paying dividends here. Matthew Stafford is the #1 quarterback in all the NFL against the blitz. And guess what? What do the Minnesota Vikings like to do? Blitz. This is Puka Nakua's show here today. I think this is Cooper Kupp's swan song in a way. And because we're getting 2.5 points on the Rams, you guys know what I'm going to do. If you guys have been tuned into the channel, we're going to go plus 2.5. We're going to go under, and we're going to tease it. And if you look at it here expanded, we're going to take Rams up to plus 8.5 over one possession. I do think the Rams win this game outright. And we're going to go under 53.5, get the tease and push insurance. But every single game has gone under thus far except for the Ravens and Steelers. And that really could have gone under if Derrick Henry did what Saquon did yesterday, which is take a slide instead of scoring a touchdown. So let's just go with the safe bet here. Experience would tell me that the Rams will win this game until I see something different from Sam Darnold and from Kevin O'Connell. That team, they're great season for them, but I am one of those people who think that they're frauds, that they have not won some of the games that they needed to win against some of the opponents that they should have. I'm scrolling down here so we can look at some of the numbers. 11-5 against the number this season. That's third best in the NFL. Kudos to them, but this is where they're vulnerable. 4-3 against the number on the road, right? And then both of these teams were under teams, not by a whole lot, but both of these teams were under teams. So that's the way that I look at this game. And if the Rams are going to use the clock, the Vikings have to make their possessions count. And they're going to get in situations where they're going to be down 2 scores like we saw yesterday with Green Bay and Jordan Love, or like we saw with Bo Nix and the Broncos, where you're just going to have to throw the ball. You're going to have to drop back the pass because you can't run the ball. Even Aaron Jones hasn't been that strong for the Vikings this year. In all personal honesty, you got to lean on the pass game. So what am I also going to do after I get this teaser locked in? Let me lock this in for 1 unit for you guys. After we get the teaser locked in, we're going to go with a quick little same game parlay here. All right. I took a screenshot of it just to save a little bit of time. So let me pull this up real quickly for you guys here. The screenshot that I got for you. But you can cook this up on DraftKings. We got a same game parlay. Sam Darnold over 33 pass attempts. Puka for 7+ receptions. Jordan Addison 4+ receptions. That gets you to plus 110 odds. That's our parlay, same game parlay builder for today. So let's look at Sam Darnold real quickly. Okay, Sam Darnold. He's been throwing the ball a lot recently. 41 attempts last week, 43 attempts the week before that, 35, 40, 20 against Atlanta Falcons, didn't really matter, 34. The first time they played the Rams, only 25 pass attempts, but 240 yards. A lot of explosive plays in that game. Samuel Darnold has been throwing the ball a lot. Kevin O'Connell is a passing head coach. He likes to pass the ball. This team, this Vikings team, Let's go back to the last playoff game that they played against the New York Giants in Minnesota. This was several years ago. Kirk Cousins threw the ball 39 times. That's what they like to do, despite the fact that Dalvin Cook ran it 15 times. This is what this team likes to do. So because they like to throw the ball, I'm going to go Sam Darnold, tease it down from his 34 line to 33 pass attempts. Now, if he's going to throw the ball a lot, we got to get Jordan Addison involved because he was not involved the first matchup. The first matchup against the Rams, you can see right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. He only had two receptions on 3 targets for 22 yards. That's not going to get it done. But more recently, against Green Bay, 6 receptions, 8 targets. 5 receptions, 8 targets against Seattle. 7 receptions, 9 targets against the Bears. 8 receptions, 12 targets against the Falcons. That's what he's been doing recently. We know Justin Jefferson's going to want to have a big game because if you look at his game log from the game against the Giants, 7 receptions, only 47 yards. So that's not a game that we're expecting to see from Jefferson. And we know the Rams are going to not try to give up explosive plays. They're going to double down on his side. So we need to see Jordan Addison get involved here. We got to see him get the ball. So if Sam Darnold is throwing it, he's probably getting Jordan Addison involved. Especially, I love the fact that he did not get a lot of receptions last week. That means that there's going to be a conscious effort in the film room, a conscious effort from the coaches to be like, hey, we need to get him involved. We saw that with Washington yesterday with Jaden Reed. You got to get some of your playmakers out in space so they can make a move, so they can make a play. That's what we're going with here. Third and final leg is Puka. And that's just because Puka is, he's Matthew Stafford's safety valve. 1 playoff game for Puka in the NFC wildcard last year, 9 receptions, 10 targets, 181 yards. That's ridiculous. If you want to look at the stats from Puka this season, I mean, the All-Pro, let's just look at his game log here instead of just the season. 10 receptions, 8 receptions, 7 receptions, 12 receptions, 9 receptions. So what else do I need to say? If he's going to get involved and Kyren Williams is still going to get 21 carries, this is our bankroll builder of the day for plus 110 odds. Only reason I haven't put it in action yet is because you have to kind of do a whole bunch of alt receps and stuff. I'll do that a little bit later. Last and final best bet of the day for you guys, okay? We've got 2 best bets down inside this game. Also add Sam Darnold's pass attempts just as an individual line. I'm laddering this one up to 40. Okay, so I'm going to go literally pass attempts here. You're going to see here we got it at 34.5. We're going to go 1 unit here. And then I'm going to take the 37 and then 40 at plus odds, right? And to see that, you would just go to alt. You would go to pass attempts 42, but I would do it on my book. You can see no props found here, okay? Final best bet, bankroll builder of the day. Let's go to the college basketball slate. Break down these games real fast. It's an ugly slate, guys. It's an ugly slate. Don't put the whole house on this builder, but this is a builder I really like. We're going to stay off of some of these teams. You're going to have to trust me on this builder because some of these teams you probably don't know. First one we're going to go to is at the 9 p.m. slot, Elon taking on Campbell. You can see Elon's a pretty big favorite here. Elon is one of the teams that is projected to win the Colonial Athletic Association this season. You can see from the projections, they're supposed to finish top 4. Right beside William Mary, Charleston, Townsend, and then Elon's right there. You can see Campbell's right behind them. So Campbell's not a bad team, but Elon, you can see 2 straight wins to start off conference play. Then they had to travel on the road to the team that's expected to win the CAA, William Mary, and they were still competitive. Only lost that game by 7. Now they're back home against a Campbell team that's been okay, but you know what? In all honesty, this is just Elon in a tough home spot. They've been 2-1 in conference, but they haven't played the top dogs in conference. So we're going to start off with Elon here against Campbell as the first leg. The next one's going to be Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now, this is, again, another team that you might not be too familiar with, but we're going to be more fading Western State, who is the team that they're playing. But you can see in the Southland, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they're the team that is projected to be number 2 right behind McNeese, which McNeese should really be running the board in terms of not losing a game. Northwestern State, you can see here, they're 4-1 in conference, but it is a weak 4-1 because the Southland, they do things a little bit weird in the Southland. You can see they've got 2 conference games right here in the middle of their non-conference schedule. Then they go back to playing non-conference, then they come back back in conference, right? So because of that, the way that breaks down, it's like it's just weird, and it gives you like a false sense of who you really are as a team, because you could pick up a few quick wins here and then lose a bunch right here, and then you can see their 2 wins are not against the best teams. Well, Texas A&M Corpus Christi ranked 156 on KenPom, which is strong. They've won 4 straight games in a row, and they have a stronger non-conference strength of schedule. They played Houston, they played Purdue, New Mexico. So I like Texas A&M Corpus Christi here as our second leg. So those 2 together get you minus 167. Let's throw in a few huge favorites here. We've got McNeese. The line already moved pretty crazy on this one, but they should win pretty outright against Houston Christian. If you want to look at that real quickly, McNeese is also a Southland team. They should win the Southland. You can see they're 5-0 in conference. KenPom has this as a 7-point win for them. Houston Christian, they're okay, but they're just not that really good. They lose every time they step up in class. This is McNeese's conference to lose. I don't think they lose a single game until they get, for the rest of the season, until they get to the conference tournament time. They can get upset. I'm not saying that can't happen, but I expect them to win every single game. So they're always going to be just like an additional money leg for me. And then finally, we're going to take Notre Dame here. The line has already moved on this. I got this. When I put this together, it was plus 105. Now it's at minus 107. So if you want to add Maryland at 5 teams to get to plus 100, you can do that. So we can do Maryland on the money line against Minnesota. They should win out handily. And then Notre Dame against Boston College. The reason why I really like Notre Dame here is they just played a very strong Duke team on the road and lost that game by only 8 points. They covered the spread in that game. Yes, they've lost 4 straight games, but we know things right now in Notre Dame are looking up. Their teams in the college football playoffs, so now they're at home in the championship game. They might get a good home crowd against Boston College, and I just don't like the fact that Boston College lost at home to a very weak Syracuse team. Notre Dame has played teams tough. They just haven't been able to close games. They should be able to win today at home. That's the other 4th leg that I really like, but you can throw Maryland in there at plus 105 as well. So that is our parlay builder of the day in the college basketball ranks. Feel free to do a first half here if you like. I do like Furman as well. First half in the Notre Dame game you could do as well. But that's it for. And then Southern is a team that I also like against Bethune-Cookman. But besides that, we're going to take it a little bit light just because of how ugly this college basketball slate is. All right, my friends. So let's look at what we have on the board for today. Real quickly, 3 best bets. We've got our 2-way teaser here between taking the Rams up to 2.5, and then we're going to also go under 53.5. We've got Sam Darnold. We're going to go over 34.5 pass attempts, but the real play that we like the best is this parlay builder for you guys. 33 pass attempts, 7 receptions for Puka, and 4 receptions for Jordan Addison. Then we've got our builder of the day, Elon, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, McNeese, and Notre Dame. And then we also threw Maryland in there just because we didn't get to plus 100. I'm not always going to force plus 100, but this is a day like I would throw Maryland in there because the odds moved on McNeese and Notre Dame up a little bit before I did the video. All right, my friends, that's what we're locking in today. 4 best bets on this Monday card. Appreciate y'all tapping into the free 3 this morning. I'm going to be on Twitch in the next at 9:30, 9:35ish. Give me like 5 minutes or so. I'm going to be on Twitch at Noble Living to talk about a little bit of NBA today, maybe answer some questions. So feel free to hop into Twitch with me. Appreciate you guys always supporting the love on the channel. Hope you've had a great opening weekend for the NFL card. We've got a full week of games. Super Tuesday tomorrow in college basketball. A lot of money line parlays we're going to be cooking up. All right, my friends, let's get to that money, get to that cheddar. Please drop a like below. I appreciate all the love and support that you guys are showing as we continue to grow. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. Let's gamble responsibly. And as always, dictate your fate. And I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Later.